hello, and welcome to round 2 of the 2025 MVP Open at Austin, presented by Flight Factory Discs. We are here for round 2 at Sprinkle Valley. We love to see it. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're your two hot geese.
Honk.
Honk. We're laughing a little because they made Sprinkle Valley incredibly difficult compared to the U.S. women's track that we played last year that everyone really liked. That being said, they cleaned up the course really well. The wind is down a little bit today. Even was the best score yesterday on Scoggins, ahead of Sarah Hokom by 1 and ahead of Rebecca Cox and Valerie Mandujano by 2. We'll see if anybody can finish under par today on this very challenging layout.
We had a completely polar opposite wind direction today. It was north wind yesterday. Today, south wind. And you could definitely feel that change.
Yeah. Hole 1 is a par 4, 570 feet. It's a triple mandatory under the Sprinkle Valley sign. If you can just get to this corner, you're pretty happy about it. There's a narrow tunnel that we took on the right side that can get you to the pin. This is one anybody can birdie it. Incredibly demanding tee shot, and you're not often rewarded with an open look on the second. Par feels great here. I believe this is playing as somewhere in the top 3 of difficulty.
Yeah, today, 4th most difficult hole of the day. It's usually one of the hardest, just from general lack of birdies. Yeah. Getting to that landing zone, while it is reachable, it's such a demanding angle down this big hill. The landing zone's also extremely small.
Mm-hmm. Own, we watched her yesterday on Feature Card. She had 1 bogey and 1 birdie, so it had to be the cleanest scorecard out there, and 100% C1X putting. Sarah Hokom keeping it in the fairway 3/4 of the time. We call her the queen of clean. She often cleans up pars from difficult situations.
And a really fortunate tree break there, kicking right back out into the middle of the fairway. Par is super salvageable.
Rebecca Cox finishing with a birdie right yesterday that we got to watch to make it onto lead card. She shot an incredible 11 down last weekend at Waco, course record. Happy to see her.
1036 rated round, one of the highest of her career. And these trees are being extremely friendly.
From San Antonio, Texas, representing Discreet Mandujano.
Wow, Valerie also perfect putting in C1X, hitting the fairway about 70% of the time and giving herself lots of Circle 2 looks.
We love a Texas homie on the lead card.
We do.
Valerie with the shot coming out a little early, and she's going to trickle into the edge of these trees. It gets tough at that point to recover par.
Yeah, it depends on if you have a gap or not. You usually don't.
Sarah going to try to get around the corner here. She doesn't have to get any big distance. It's just important to keep it in the middle. She burns one low and straight. She will be able to get a par from there, but like Erika said in the flyover, it's a pretty small tunnel. And it's one that, regrettably, we all can relate to messing up.
Own overturning that forehand, but getting some nice ground play and actually set up pretty well for a par. Valerie on a knee, looking at a little tiny gap. Look at this. Ooh.
Look at that smoothie cake's little forehand.
That was great. It is so easy to hit that tree right in front of you from there.
God, that was like all wrist. That was so pretty.
Yeah.
Rebecca, in a place where everyone else in their mom would throw a forehand.
Up and over?
He's going to force a backhand. I can't tell.
Do you think her mom would throw a forehand?
Going up and over is crazy.
Yeah. Where is she? Where are we?
That's
okay.
So good. A step outside circle 1.
Yes.
What a shot.
I hope her mom's proud.
My mom's proud.
Nice little rock 3 approach shot from Own.
Sarah going to work a little forehand turnover shot. She's really good at these.
Wow, man, she is really good at those. Still works.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most ladies would line up that kind of narrower hyzer line with the forehand. Valerie, not much distance left on the upshot. On the putt. On the putt. Oh, that looked great. So pretty.
So pretty, and lays down so softly even after buzzing the basket. Rebecca for a rare birdie. Just slightly undercommitted with some really nice pace on it, though. She's going to have a little work left on that comeback putt. Look at this nice camera work.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Get to know Rebecca.
Yeah.
There we go.
What bush?
Look at the lighting. Her skincare routine is working.
Good morning. There's not a pore on that face.
Owen making the par look pretty easy after not the best tee shot.
Sarah really getting her legs engaged on the putting green. It's working for her. Her putting percentage has been so good the last couple of years. Her circle 2 putting percentage, when she goes off, she just is draining them.
And staying close
Yes.
for the comebackers, which we all know I like.
Yeah. Okay, so there were 3 birdies on hole 1, and I'm going to shout them out. Raven Klein, Kristen Lott, and Haiti Line. Speaking of,
Yeah, it looks like she went birdie start, and hole 2 is not easy. 3 is one of the easier par 3s out here. A lot more difficult than last year, but that looks perfect. Oh, yeah.
oh man,
See if she can start out with a turkey.
yes she can.
Gobble, gobble. And a good start, considering hole 1 can see some big numbers.
It sure can. It's one you have to shake off more often than not. Here is hole 2. Kristen Lott just taking a birdie there, 534 feet. You got to crush one off the tee because that second shot can extend a little bit more than you want. It's also a lot more demanding of an angle. That left side gap's the way to go, especially if you have a forehand. A backhand turnover is not as feasible, but can work with some really nice touch. Lots of really big mulch on this fairway, though, make that second shot difficult to get power on.
Congratulations to Zach Miller. You win the disc giveaway. If you are interested in this, it's just check out patreon.com/JomezPro.
Yeah, I think they have it signed by Anthony Barella this week.
Whoever was on the practice round.
Yeah.
Which, that sounds right.
Owen chipping a forehand around the corner. Not trying to get too aggressive here. You see forehands and backhand turnovers. The backhand slightly more aggressive. Look at this hyzer flip from Sarah.
So pretty. I like the forehand because you can definitely still birdie, more demanding second shot, and it can trickle a little too far into the right side. But the backhand with those 2 trees right in the way just feels a little tight.
Love seeing Rebecca rip forehands.
Yeah,
Really good distance on it. Dead center.
good placement.
Breaking just in the nick of time.
Let's see, she's going grand orbit glory there.
Look at this beautiful floating shot from Valerie. If that just holds,
So close.
so close. And she will be able to scramble from there. It just might require a forehand.
And she had a good forehand out earlier,
Yeah.
and she could maybe birdie from there with something amazing.
Yep. Hokom trying to get this on more of a hyzer than it came out. It pushed a little too straight. That's not a bad break, though.
That's a great break.
Yeah, going left there is almost a bogey. I mean, double bogey land.
Owen actually set up nicely to throw the hyzer here around that kind of slanted branch. She throws a little too low and straight.
Yeah, another misfire from Owen that works out.
She loves it.
Still, as a reminder, battling a forehand injury. Owen trying not to throw forehand as much as possible, which is a tall order here on Sprinkle Valley Disc Golf Course. You can see Rebecca going forehand.
Love to see it.
And she's a backhand queen.
Forehand queen now, too. Just all around queen.
True that.
We're big fans of Rebecca here in the booth. Madison Walker just yesterday said she's going to win this year, and look at her now on lead card.
I'm calling it.
No prior knowledge.
I can't see the future, I promise. Valerie with a nice forehand, putting herself in position to putt.
Hokom pinned on this tree here. Leaves maybe just a little more than you like, but 18 feet or so left. Ooh.
I think this is a really great hole for FPO.
Yeah.
A par 4 that everyone can definitely score on. Still only 10 birdies out of our 53 competitors. So that shows how difficult it is, regardless of it being reachable.
Yeah, it requires precise shots, but maybe a little bit less precise than most of the other par 4s out here.
We mentioned it yesterday, but if you did not watch, a lot of the baskets out here at Sprinkle Valley are a little high in their sleeves. You can see the little koozie pretty high off the ground. That makes for putting to be a little strange. You come out and have to find your target just a little higher than normal. You see a lot of misses high early in the round and a lot of misses low as everyone starts to get comfortable.
Yeah, I hate those tall boy koozies.
We sure do.
16 ouncers. Rebecca with a great birdie there. Looks like Hokom's gonna clean up the par. Own missing a short one. Not very typical for her. Just a little high and left from Own. Valerie with a nice par. Smooth looking forehand from Rebecca. Just a bit of wobble, but man, forehand on 2 is a cool play.
Sure is. Requires some power.
Mm-hmm. Hole 3, we just saw Kristen Lott play this 360 feet extended. At least 60 feet from the previous year, roughly. The way the tee pad is, you want to throw from the very right side of it. There's definitely some trees in the way, so you feel just not quite comfortable off the tee. You want to push very straight before hyzering. Anybody in the field can get this. I feel like if you get a good rip, it doesn't actually feel like 360.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I can reach it without like a max flex, so it plays a little shorter. But precise line.
Yeah, and it does require a little ground play at the end as well.
Rebecca just a bit early. That would have parked the old pin. You can see the little, what is that? The little thing right there.
That little
collar?
Thing, sleeve.
Yeah.
Cork.
Yeah, this is the sleeve cork.
And look at that wind. It picked up as the round went on. Started out the day a little bit calmer, but 37 degrees this morning. It was very cold.
Freezing.
And then the wind started picking up, including some really fancy gusts throughout the day.
Yeah, that one really turned Hokom's sidearm over.
A little dust cloud as well.
Yeah, I went early, and the wind was not this bad, but it was much colder. It was so cold. But that's crazy to see that much wind on this hole. Valerie pushing too far straight. Should be an easy par, though.
Yeah, early spring in Texas. There's not a lot of leaves on the tree. It is pretty wild playing wooded fairways with wind just absolutely ripping through.
Yeah, reminiscent of last year's Champions Cup at Northwoods Black.
Oh, yeah.
That had no leaves. Yeah, you can see the wind. There must have been a headwind keeping all the discs a little bit too straight, not allowing them to fade.
Sarah not quite getting enough on it. She was kind of in a stance where she couldn't activate her hips, and she's going to have a tester putt for par.
Man, I love the way Valerie throws up shots.
Me too. I love the way she throws everything.
Yeah, that's true. Rebecca, long look for birdie. Over 40 feet. Do it. Ooh, strong bid.
Definitely.
I just have a feeling she's going to make this one.
She does like these little framed up putts. It's like her brain gets turned on.
Activate. Yes.
Called it. That looks like what? It was around 45 or 50 feet?
Yeah. Let's see it again. I feel like the trees just give her that extra little bit of focus to just jam these huge putts. Love to see it.
That's one of 5 birdies today on hole 3. So like Erika said, you can reach it. It's just such a demanding line. And look at the trouble you can get into as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, do it. Wow, what a great bid. Yeah, I don't love this change. It's fine.
Yeah.
It was just nice to have a very attackable par 3, not just a par 3.
Not even half the field able to get even to circle 2 in regulation.
And a good comeback putt from Rebecca.
And only 8 players getting to circle 1 in regulation. So yeah, we like a hard par 3, but we're about to do back-to-back ones that are tough to get to.
Checking in with Silva Saarinen, who was on our feature card yesterday.
Ooh, I like the orange sweatshirt.
She was the only one under par, I believe, going to 18. No, actually, Raven Klein was under par. But regardless, she had the best round going. And looks like she's getting some nice birdies today, too.
Silva Saarinen, in her second year with MVP discs, she had a landmark year last year, taking down like 7 or 8 events. Here's hole 4, another long par 3 at 364 feet. This one's more difficult than the last because it requires a gentle right fade throughout the entire flight of the disc. The tunnel is also narrow all the way until you get to the green. If you fade out early on the left side trying to force a flex, or just don't quite have the juice to get all the way there, you're left with almost no options of putting. So it makes this hole especially unfriendly to the FPO distance. I believe we saw one. No, we didn't see any birdies yesterday, I don't think, on this hole.
Or if we did, it was like 2.
There was one. Oh yeah, Cat Merch.
Oh,
Cat Merch
yeah.
parked it.
Yeah.
And it does require some pretty wild commitment and distance.
Which Cat Merch, that's her tagline,
Yep.
actually. Oh, check out Rebecca Cox.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, what'd she throw there?
Getting a little fortunate to that right side, but
For
you
sure.
have to on this hole.
That was a grand grace. That one wasn't as wild actually as I would expect to make it all the way there. And Valerie, with almost the same looking shot, you can see her just get punished. You see a lot of women throwing forehands, or maybe just taking a little off and throwing just a fairway driver to just over the ditch, knowing it's a par.
Yeah.
Maybe a circle
Playing
two look.
for a par. Wow, Sarah,
Great shot.
Pushing the back line of trees perfectly.
And it's a great shot, and I think she's not even quite in a circle two,
Yep.
or just barely.
Valerie with another strange little forehand tiny gap that she has to hit on
Teeny
her
tiny.
approach.
Man,
Pretty.
she's so good at those. It's a skill I didn't know she had.
I feel like she's got to have it in Texas.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Own with a rock 3 upshot, leaving it just a touch short. Just got to make a little putt.
And here's a pretty classic spot for FPO players to land. Just this little barely outside circle 2 jump putt. Only 9 competitors got to circle 2 in regulation. Only 3 got to circle 1 in regulation. Rebecca Cox, one of those. We get to watch her attempt her birdie first. Own with a par.
Rebecca, 21 feet away.
This whole...
Oh no, committed, ramps off the top. About the actually it looks farther and a little uphill.
We like an uphill comeback putt.
Do we?
Yeah.
You do. I don't.
Oh, I do every time.
I mean, I like it for her. I don't like it for me.
I like it for me.
We are different.
This hole's weird. It averaged at almost a half stroke over par. So just the quintessential tweener.
Sarah just a little low left on that bid for her par. And
a couple things can happen out at Sprinkle Valley. You can play really well and then absolutely gain a million strokes in the last handful of holes, or you can just slowly bogey away. And so hopefully we can see Hokom change this little teeny couple of bogeys she's getting, because it's very easy to start stacking up the single bogeys out here.
No kidding. Ahead on the 6th, Holland Hanley looks like she is even par for the round. And oh my gosh, does she realize it's only 320? Poor camera guy.
That's probably a putter or something.
No, that's at least a fairway. Gotta be a fairway.
It's gotta be.
I know her mids. That's not it.
Would Holland throw a fairway on this
Like
hole?
a 7 speed. Silva in a classic spot fading out to the left. Ooh, she's lucky to not be a little bit deeper in there.
Oh, my.
No way.
That's not lucky. That is pure skill.
Yeah, it is. I've been waiting for one of these. I was hoping we'd see one yesterday. She is known for huge putts like that. Three down?
Yeah, and the fact that was a standstill straddle putt, no step, just so much power on this wrist spin.
Oh, Holland's going to do too.
Holland with a wildly different putting style.
Yeah, Holland made, 3 or 4 of those huge putts yesterday, including 17's drop zone. Insane. What a cool couple of highlights there.
Hole 4, there was only 2 birdies. I'm going to shout them out real quick. Kona Montgomery and Missy Gannon from Circle 2.
Nice. Hole 5, a par 4, nice and short at 425, but technical. I like a sidearm taking this left side gap. Got to be careful not to skip into that OB on the right side, though. Backhand can work really well and actually get you closer to this little OB ditch right here, but it feels a little sketchier off the tee. The closer you get to that OB area, the easier the upshot. There's quite a few trees in the way that can make for some narrow gaps.
Another really great FPO hole.
Yeah. Super fair.
Yes.
Looks like you should get it every time. Not as easy as it looks.
Definitely. Small landing zones. But if you don't get in the landing zone, still really, really fun scramble shots.
Yeah. If you hit one of those first trees, too, it's over. Like, you're bogeying, most likely. Well, you can save it, I guess.
Yeah, you can. This hole is...
Depends on where you kick.
This hole's very fun for scrambling. As long as you don't go out of bounds.
I have not seen anyone do this yet.
I kind of wondered if people were. It's big enough.
Yeah. I mean, some people did last year. I just haven't seen it yet this year.
Yeah, it's just
scary.
So risky. If you turn that disc at all, you are instantly out of bounds.
This is more common for the backhand. And Valerie, I'd imagine trying to go around that last tree, but who knows? Who's to say?
She's probably aiming right at it.
Some good looking tee shots here.
This camera angle is making that left side gap look enormous.
Yeah, it's not.
It doesn't look like that from the tee pad.
It's fair, but doing what Hokom just did and landing there rather than where Owen skipped is difficult.
Yeah, that's a high level and high distance forehand shot. She's so far down there. I'm going to throw this little... Uh-oh.
Overturn.
Oh, it's not good over there. It's safe, but it's
safe.
Not good.
Yeah.
I was there today. There is not much over there.
Okay. Owen with a more typical backhand to the pin. It definitely shapes up better for the backhand.
And you see players throwing this type of shot pretty regularly here and trickling into those trees left. There's an OB line where the camera guy is in the red shirt, and you're thinking about it. If you catch any of those trees, that you can kick right really fast and add an OB stroke.
I love Rebecca taking a bit wider of a line. Fantastic.
Yeah, trusting that disc for sure.
Valerie almost too quick to capture on camera. Who's quicker, Valerie or her sister, Alexis?
I think Alexis is faster.
Me too.
But
we wouldn't have seen Alexis throw.
Yeah, they're both so fast. I like it. They know their discs. Oh, Hokom actually pushes into the woods further than where I was and does have an option.
The option's forehand roller.
Yes, through a jail of sticky trees. And
Wow.
that's good enough for a putt. And that's really all you can ask for here.
Not an easy one. That was a crazy stance she had in there, too. This would be an amazing save. Yeah!
Trickles in. Yes, claim it.
Working hard for that par. Well done.
What a scramble.
own for a birdie.
Own one of 13 birdies on this hole.
And already she has more birdies than yesterday.
No.
Valerie missing low right for her first birdie opportunity. Or, well, you get it. She had a long one. It doesn't matter. Rebecca for her second birdie of the round.
I'm vibing with the purple shades.
Right? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I was just thinking that. Get out of my head.
She looks cooler than all of us.
I mean, she always does, but especially right now.
Yeah, this hole just scored really well for the FPO field. We love it. Great job, hole 5.
Mm-hmm. If I don't talk much in the next few minutes, it's because I'm ordering purple shades.
Oh, she's online shopping in the booth.
Silva Saarinen 3 down, leading the field.
Here is hole 6 that we watched Silva and Holland birdie with really long putts earlier. You see a lot more putts from close on this hole. This is a gettable par 3 at 320 feet. It's a nice gentle turning shot. You can be a little bit more aggressive with it though if you want. There's a lot more room to the right side of the fairway later in the flight, so you can kind of work a flex line as well. You just want to make sure you don't late release and end up early right, or go deep and too far on the left side. The rough over there is rough.
Wow, this one averaged under par. This one,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming 10 did. I'd be surprised if there were any others.
Yeah, it's even though there weren't as many birdies as we would hope to see, only 9 birdies today, there just weren't very many bogeys. This one's pretty easy to scramble from. Look at all this space you have.
Oh yeah, Rebecca with her lucid evader, excuse me. That is my favorite disc of hers to watch her throw. Valerie looks like she's trying to work the inside line, but it fades out a little early and catches those middle grouping of trees.
Oh yeah, this played as the easiest hole of the day. We forgot to play our game.
Dang it. I would have guessed 10, so I guessed wrong mentally. And you're all disappointed in me.
Mentally. Sarah, unfortunately getting caught up on that one tree you have to miss. She'll be in circle 2 for a birdie putt. Here's Owen's second shot. She's in a putting stance. Okay.
Putts it just a little short.
Yeah.
Just barely inside the circle. Valerie with that floaty little upshot, kind of messing around in the wind. Puts it into the bullseye.
A quarter of the field, half the field getting to circle 2 in regulation. Only 7 people getting to circle 1, so just that little extra 30 feet. It's tough to access on this hole.
This is a good par 3, though.
Yeah, we love it.
Rebecca just a little bit low on the high collar basket. White collar basket? There's something there. And yep, you just see that a lot out here. A couple inches higher than normal means a lot of cage hits. Our bodies are trained to just...
Legitimately. You have to kind of change it on this course.
Yeah, you're definitely thinking about it.
And we would say okay, we'll put the baskets in deeper, but I'm pretty sure they're trying to just hammer into limestone everywhere in the Austin area.
Yeah, very fair point. Limestone and thorns.
That's what it says on the postcard.
Welcome.
Welcome to Austin.
Actually, it just says get out. Rebecca and Valerie bogey free so far. Everyone doing a pretty good job so far in this front 9. Hole 7. Ha! Look at it.
Ooh.
We're taking the right side gap. I would say this is the less common gap, but it's a good one if you're trying to birdie. If you can lace a perfect shot into a tiny landing zone and then lace a second perfect shot through a small tunnel that is curving the whole way. It's a little bit more of a dog leg, I think, than the flyover and the map makes it look. There's also a left side gap off the tee. You see a lot of forehands, but that's more of a par play. Some ladies go left side gap turnover as well. Just get through. I mean, it looks like a wall. It feels like a wall. It's a wall.
It's a wall. There's some small gaps. Rebecca getting some unfortunate ground play and going to push a little straighter. The fact that we're seeing 2 players go up this right gap is wild.
They trying to birdie.
They sure are. I feel like this way's harder for birdieing. I don't know why I feel like that.
I also feel like that.
You throw a little too much hyzer and flare skip left, it is almost impossible.
I also think that this left side, if you mess it up, you can recover par a bit easier.
Yeah, also looking back right here in this landing zone at the tee pad, it just looks like there's nothing. Like you're like, what gap am I throwing from?
Wait, what is a gap?
Yeah.
Existential questions arise.
Yeah, you can see Owen's disc just squeaking through a ton of trees, catching one at the very end.
Solid shot.
Kind of the name of the game on that left gap.
Valerie actually left with a fairly open shot. Fade.
She was definitely trying to get aggressive, pulling it just a little bit, but that's a good reaction, and she'll have a fairly no-nonsense approach for the par.
Wow. Okay, so they make that gap actually look enticing because where they're landing opens up the second tunnel.
Allows you to throw a distance driver, which you do not really get very often from the left gap.
Interesting. All right, I'll think about that a year from now.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Rebecca.
That's just like an automatic stroke. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool.
So she was called on a stance violation. I'm wondering if it's because the pin is diagonal. I just didn't see it.
I think she was just short of her mark.
Okay.
Outside of the designated square where your foot has to land.
The piece of paper.
Yeah.
Rectangle.
The rectangle. Owen's so close to shaping that shot perfectly, catching the very last tree she has to miss. Sarah on the inside route here after getting that tree kick on her tee shot. And that's about all you can do with that.
Yeah,
She's going to be a little more tucked on that right side than you want.
Mm-hmm. Especially as a forehand dominant player. She's got something to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a tight little hyzer, and again need to control the skip because of that hill right behind the pin.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hokom 20 feet for a par.
And just 2 people who've been playing on tour together for 8 years.
Rebecca, since she was a literal child.
Yeah. Here's Owen opting for a backhand turning shot.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's
nice
some
and turning.
There's some wind moving through there. She navigates it really well.
That was great.
So here's a hole that could use maybe some improvements on the FPO side. It averaged at over half a stroke over par in the field, 55% of the field parring. The rest with a bogey or worse. Sadly, no birdies on the day on 7 yesterday or today, I believe.
Yesterday?
No, yesterday
I feel like there was 1 or 2.
There was 4. Oh.
There was 4, like I said.
No birdies today. And only 4 people even getting the circle 2 in regulation.
Yeah, it's close. I
It's
don't
almost.
mind this one.
Yeah, same.
I'm not sure.
And like
what could be different? Like 1 or 2 more trees out of the right side gap, maybe.
Maybe. And honestly, I like a hard par 4 where you're playing for par. It's just when they start to stack them together.
Yeah, the real problem I feel like on this course with all the changes is the flow, because they're all
Hard
a
par.
grind.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no breaks.
But I would never complain about this hole in specifically. I think it's kind of a cool hole, even though it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no breaks. There's no, Yeah.
I know. I feel like we were kind of downers yesterday, but we loved the layout last year. We just don't like
Some of the changes.
3 significant changes they made.
3 significant changes and 2 on some par 3s that we liked.
Mm-hmm. Ahead on the 10th, Kristen Lott. She's 1 down. Actually, I think she's 2 down right now. And a nice smooth forehand, I believe, with her harp.
This played as one of the easiest holes of the day, and Kristen showing us how it's done. What a nice little tester putt confidence builder. And she's out of there.
She's gone. She's ready for 11. And solid play from our lead card here. Rebecca carding the single bogey. Everyone else pars.
Hole 8, one of the other easier holes on the course. This one in the top 4 today. 320 feet. Forehand is the way to get there. You will see people throwing backhands, but that's wild, honestly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Forehand dead straight as long as you can. Hopefully you get one nice little flare skip at the end. It's easy to go deep of this basket as well with the mulch on the ground. Kicking left and right both aren't awesome. Right side is rough to recover from just because of a wall of trees. Left side, a checkerboard of trees that sometimes you get lucky and find a gap. And look at Valerie doing what's crazy.
It is crazy. Z glide to just outside the circle.
Just dead straight the whole time.
I like this hole because it feels like it baits you into throwing that left to right moving shot. And realistically, it's mostly a straight shot.
Yep.
And that's why it's a straight shot.
Yep.
Solid. I mean, that was a solid forehand.
You
Should
see a
be
lot
an
of
easy par.
A lot of people landing in circle 2 short and right as well. Ooh, look at Rebecca just getting down on the tee pad.
Just like lightly getting down. Just a little bit.
Oh, and with that left kick, we'll see if she has a gap to be able to get up and down from there.
There are some. Not many. Rebecca, I'm surprised to not see her go forehand.
Me too.
But, man, she's just going to park it, isn't she?
Yeah.
Ace it? Whoa.
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 I could have chopped a tree down.
That was a fusion evidence, very understable disc that maybe it did chop a tree down.
Yeah.
That
That
has
just
some
feels
heat.
That feels like she's like comparing this to an Idlewild hole.
Owen kind of yanking that one, but getting away with it. I believe she's not quite in the circle, though. And you can see the wind. Look at that little purple. What is that?
A little
Rabbit tail? Cat toy.
It just switched 180 degrees.
It did.
Whatever it is, it can't make its mind up.
I definitely want to paw at it. It feels like a cat toy. That was a great upshot from Hokom with that interesting wind. Rebecca, long look for 2.
From the rough, committed. Nice and high, just not quite in the chains.
Own nearly 40 feet downhill, looking at a par. Woo!
She is finding that high right chain spot on these baskets all weekend long. Working
Like you
great.
said though yesterday with the wide basket or the wide cage,
Yeah,
it works.
It does. Yeah, I feel like on my cards this weekend, I have not seen nearly as many spit outs. It's been nice.
Yeah, it doesn't like low corner pocket, I feel like.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
the
yeah.
main. But I wouldn't call those spit outs.
No, yeah, those are just whiffs.
Look at Valerie.
Not whiffing. Dead center.
Yeah, absolutely crazy to go backhand there. Just crazy.
So cool. 1 of 10 birdies today. Shout out to Taylor Kochek for parking this one.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
And everyone else on the lead card just looking to clean up their pars. Valerie getting under par for the round. 1 to go. Sarah taking her full routine there, which I like
Yeah.
for a short putt. Just
Me too.
make sure you're not rushing. Owen still in the lead, even good enough to have a 1-stroke lead over quite a big tie, it's looking like. Hole 9, par 4, 470 feet. Another one that is just so hard. I was looking at this right there, that tunnel we just passed through, or those 2 trees, and it's so much smaller. You think, oh, easy. It's not. You actually want to pass where we turned, I think, to give yourself the bigger gap. It's a very small landing zone, 15 or 20 feet maybe, and then it sets up really well for a forehand. It can work for a backhand turnover up the hill. Make sure you get over the logs. Look at how many trees. 100 trees in your way. First things first, just try to punch. I like kind of a slight hyzer that mostly pushes straight and fades at the end. That is probably the worst kick you can get, Valerie,
besides
short
left.
Right. I guess left is worse. Left is worse. You're right.
This is one of those holes that you play in practice and you're like, oh, heck yeah. Birdieable.
Birdieable.
And then you get out to the tournament and you hit one of these trees on either side of the gap and you go to no man's land and you're like,
brutal.
There's no way to get to the basket.
Yeah. How big do you think that gap is too? Like 12 feet?
It looks
15,
bigger than
15
that.
feet?
I don't know how big it actually is.
I was like really looking at it today. I'm like, that's not very big.
Sounds
this
like
is
good,
hard.
Good mental game.
Like, I parked it, dude. I would like hit the
Yeah.
landing zone, but sometimes I was thinking how in practice it feels easy, and I was looking at it, I'm like, it's not.
No.
This is a high level shot.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, catching either of those trees bordering that gap can put you into some really messed up places.
I know. I've hit them. I know.
Yeah.
We all know.
And you start spiraling, trying to recover. On this hole is, I think, highlights the spiral.
Yeah.
Rebecca coming in a little bit early. She might be pinched for her approach.
There
We'll see.
is kind of that inside tunnel, though.
Yeah, I actually took that tunnel yesterday.
It's doable. It's
It
just
is.
tighter.
It's tight and very low ceiling.
Valerie from short right, I was going to say laying up, but she's actually getting pretty aggressive on this shot. And she's going to be kind of deep right with a few teeny tiny gaps, which we've seen she can manage pretty well.
Yeah, she might have checked up just in time. There's a kind of a sea of little teeny branches in there that can be tough to contend with, but I think she checked up just before that.
And
Look at
Hokom
this.
threw nearly a perfect tee shot and was not really rewarded, but that was an amazing upshot, catching a log, dying a little before its time. Like, that's such a good drive to not be rewarded.
Yeah.
Own two.
Oh, man. That's brutal.
Yeah, if she was just 10 feet in front of where she is right now, it would be a perfect shot.
Even just 4 feet left.
Yeah.
Just get off this tree. And another forehand kind of turfed into the ground.
That'll work. so
Yeah.
far.
Really forced to have to use it there.
And Rebecca, also great drive, also
Pinched.
not quite rewarded. I also like this hole, but man, I just wish there was a little bit better way to get to the pin.
Okay, she found a way.
She did.
That's not a fair way.
It's not.
It's not an angle that I've seen before just because I haven't been there, but dang, she makes it work.
Yeah, that was a high level shot.
Yeah, here's Valerie. The basket is way up high to the right. She's going to have to throw a forehand and get some really good...
No, logged,
yeah, she got logged.
jammed.
Owns third. Just a little approach to the green. It's more steep uphill than you can tell from the camera angles.
This is another one that I like this hole a lot.
Me too.
But man, I just wish that first landing zone you were a bit more rewarded.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
feels
with a good
it feels a
drive.
little chancy.
Just a bit. One tree.
You almost have to do kind of what Rebecca did and like push into the tree line, like throw an aggressive hyzer instead of a straight shot.
Yeah.
I think it ups your chances a little bit. But yeah, it's not an easy shot. It's very demanding.
There a nice par there.
There were only 7 birdies on hole 9 today. 17 people getting to circle 2 and only 7 to circle 1. So you can see just 30 feet makes such a big difference on that approach with the high ceiling, low ceiling, high floor situation.
And there are 53 FPO in the field. I feel like we said that yesterday, but not today, for all those statistics we're throwing out. Valerie with a great putt, managing to save a single bogey. Important out here where they can stack up before you know it. And Rebecca Cox with one of those 7 birdies. Rebecca looking strong out here.
Man, Valerie really fought. Still going to end up with that bogey. Rebecca Cox with the current hot round at 2 under par today, tied with Kristen Lott, sitting in a tie for 8th place. The front 9 played rough today. The course in general played a little bit harder with the wind switch. It definitely filtered more into the woods, and we will see that on the back 9 some, but it also makes the more open holes wildly different.
Yes.
180-degree change. It's going to make different holes harder and different holes easier, but most of them harder.
Yeah, I would say all of them harder, actually. They're all hard.
For sure. Yeah, but we do have 9 more holes, and this is our last go at Sprinkle Valley. Hate to say we're like a little bit relieved with that, but
yeah. I mean, I actually want another chance, but maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, tune in on the back 9. You can see why. Thanks again to our Founders Club. Don't forget to like, subscribe. 50,000 followers is within our reach. I mean, 500.
Especially 500,000 followers.
Within our reach.
Uh-huh.
Help us.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your 2 Huckies.
Help us honk.
Honk.